Hey everyone, thanks for joining. John here, staff software engineer with 10 plus years of experience. Today, we are working on the top honors feature, which is a new feature on the Latterly website. Here you can see on the nav menu, there is now a top honors leaderboard drop-down item, provides the vote and view leaders options currently. So view leaders currently support company honors. So this is similar to Prestige Hunt. PrestigeHunt.com, which basically ranks companies based off of their prestige. So you might ask the question, I have 5 companies, they're all paying the same amount, the role is similar. And so you're trying to differentiate, like, how should I pick these companies? Well, there's this element of prestige. And in tech in particular, we talk about tier 1, 2, and 3 companies. Tier 1 is often called FANG or FANG adjacent or big N, big tech. But the lines are somewhat blurry. So like, who's in big tech? You know, FANG is pretty clear, but it's also agreed that that's outdated in 2024. And so really we're left with this notion that big N or big tech is the best companies. And then there's some arbitrary cutoff that you'll assign. And so now we just have to ask the question, who are the best companies? And so one way to measure that is just to look at this thing called prestige. And this is sort of an independent lens from compensation or like company revenue or stock price or some of the more financial approaches, because there is an element in tech where some companies will have a really high quality bar, or they'll be doing really interesting things, but they may not pay the best, or they may not have the largest cap size or the highest stock price, right? So it's just one more tool in the chest. This shouldn't be overused. I'm sure some people will overuse it. We already know that some people overvalue prestige and overvalue the FANG label. Anyway, this helps us quantify and capture it in a way that's better than Prestige Hunt. Why is it better than Prestige Hunt? Well, for one, Prestige Hunt only has 134 companies. Latterly already has over 200. Prestige Hunt is closed source and poorly kept, so that there are bugs that are stacking up. So here you see Square obtains twice. In one case, it's actually Square. In the other case, it's actually Stripe. And Stripe doesn't appear there at all. So open sourcing it, extending the list of companies, fixing bugs, and expanding it to consider non-company honors are all elements of interest for Latterly. So company, school, skill. And then in this stream, we'll do even more. So why stop there? So I have a tech influencer prestige ranking that we'll be able to do. Sure, we can look at your YouTube voter count, but how many TikTok viewers is a YouTube viewer worth? And like, some people are just not on all the channels. Some people are not on any of the channels. Job titles. So how much cooler numerically? Quantify how much cooler or less cool it is to be a data scientist relative to a data engineer, a software engineer, and so on. Food. How much better is focaccia? Because it's certainly better, but how much better is focaccia relative to an onion? Like, you can, sky's the limit, right? Food is crazy. Exactly. So that gives you an overview of what we're doing here. Cool. So we'll dive in momentarily. Also want to bring up this GitHub compare, and I did get a quick question in the chat, so I'll address that quickly. Blitz.js may be coming to the end of its era. So Latterly is built on Blitz.js. In Next.js full stack world, 2 of the leading frameworks have been for quite some time, the T3 stack and Blitz.js. These are higher order frameworks that are Next.js wrappers. The app router migration has been difficult for both of these communities, and one has done substantially better than the other. And we have seen star growth and issue count fan out so that there is more separation in quality between these two. GitHubCompare.com, super cool tool to help you compare quality of various libraries. Okay, one thing that's a little bit blurry here, GitHub Compare is going to say that there are 54 open issues on the Create T3 app and 73 on Blitz.js, actually the difference is a bit more stark. So that there are only 38 issues on the T3 stack. Let's see if I can open up this one. And there are 68 issues on Blitz. How did it come up with the other numbers? It's summing the issues and the pull requests together, so that 68 and 4 makes 72, 38 and 16 makes 54. But notice that there's a quality difference here. If I have fewer issues and more pull requests, this is an indicator that I'm better maintained, rather than just summing the issues together. So it's going to look like T3 is better maintained and fewer issues, more stars, more recently updated, okay? And not only is that true, it's understated by this comparison. So that in 2024, really 2025, I think we're going to know by the end of the year, is Blitz going to make a comeback? Is it going to get over the app router hurdle and then kind of thrive? Or will we be in an era where Latterly may want to migrate to T3 next year? And I'll say some other things beyond just the top line metrics here. Let's ask the question, what is valuable about Blitz? It allows us to get auth out of the box, but T3 does this as well. It allows us to have Prisma out of the box, but T3 does this as well. Blitz has really cool code generation capabilities, which are relatively less valuable in the generative AI era, because I can just use a standard generative AI tool to create these components. So one of the main value propositions for me, one of the reasons I valued Blitz, has been undercut. And then another thing will be this zero API layer that Blitz has. And it's cool, but I've got to say two things. First of all, using it in the app router is clunky. And you'll notice a number of, at least currently, maybe they'll fix this, but currently a number of the utilities in Blitz just don't work in the app router, so that the Blitz router, for example, doesn't work, and there's a compatibility layer and so on, but it's really just an unnecessary abstraction when you have typed routes from Next itself. And then the Blitz query pattern is cool, but we have tan stack query, which by now has just gotten much, much better. And we can look at the stars and the issues, right? So just as many issues as Blitz, over 3 times the stars. And then again, if you look within the issues and you look a level deeper, it's actually much better maintained. A lot of those quote issues are pull requests. And then, yes, it's true that Blitz gives you auth for free. But if it's not really extensible, and if you're running into issues with the app router, you'll actually see that as a hindrance at a certain point. So that Next Auth is a really cool tool. And it's just not that hard to integrate Next Auth. It's just not that hard to integrate Next Auth. One thing that's still kind of cool from Blitz is Blitz comes with Vitest out of the box. And Vitest and Jest are both cool. You're doing a trade-off here, right? One is a little older, or a lot older, more than 3 times older. And there is something to the youth of the project that is hard to directly quantify in a one-to-one way. So that Vitest will often be faster and have features that Jest doesn't have, despite the fact that it has fewer stars. So stars are a proxy for feature and capability. But it's a weak proxy. And one of the things that it takes to build stars is it just takes time. So with an old project, and in tech, if you're over 10 years, you're old, basically. The stars may over-indicate feature like value, basically. And then in a young project, stars may under-indicate value. So I think both of these are respectable options. I use them both in different projects, but it's worth noting that Blitz comes out of the box with Vitest. T3 comes out of the box with no testing. So that is still something that's interesting about Blitz. But again, if you go with T3 stack, it's just not that hard to add either one of these on. So I don't see it as that much of a differentiator. This is going to be, especially if you have a generative AI tool that can help you integrate either of these, this is going to be like a 1-hour task. Cool. Okay, so wanted to show that GitHub compare thing that I found. Let's get back to the main task here. Let me answer a couple questions in the chat. Thanks so much for the questions. Throw some likes on the video if you think it's interesting so far. So OP3 Beats says, what platforms are you on? YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. I think that's all of them. Drop a comment if I should get on Kick. People keep talking about Kick, but I don't know if people actually really use it. Oh, thanks for the follow. There was one more question. How to land a front-end job market. How to land a front-end job in this market as a beginner. Go to latterly.io. You can sign up for free. Am I currently logged in? Okay, so I'm already logged in. Once you're logged in, you'll be able to access this standard checklist totally for free. It walks you step by step through how to land your first or next programming role. So the answer is going to be build a portfolio, social network, interview. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Each of those tasks is difficult, so it's not easy, but it is simple. Thank you for the likes. Okay. So what are we doing here? Great. So you have this votables JSON, which is a seed file. I've shown you that we've got some funny, like, in addition to the companies, we now have schools, which is going to include boot camps. So we'll be able to directly compare university to boot camps. I think this is going to be a first time ability to compare those things directly on a prestige ranking. Food, yes, it indeed includes drinks. Deal with it. Job titles, cool, all this stuff. So we have this votables thing. I'm going to need to run the seed, and I want the seed to be idempotent. Okay, so I have my seed logic. We're going to update this now. And further, I need to extend the type enumeration. So votable is an entity in my schema. So here's the votable type. And you can see that there is a 3-level enumeration. We need to extend that to include food, skills already there. Food, tech influencer, and job type. What did I call it? Job title. Okay, so I'm going to Command P. I'm going to go to my Prisma schema for laterally. I'll go to here's the votable type right here. So we will have job title. Let me add an underscore. I think that's more idiomatic than having the space character. So there's job title. Certification would be a cool thing to compare. Like, what's better, the AWS cert or this other cert? Sure, let's add it. Job title, food, and then tech influencer. All right, chat, give me 5 certifications just so we can kind of kick off this seed. I won't spend too much time on it. So here, job title, I'm going to copy this and replace it with the underscored form. Replace all, cool. Tech influencer, easy pull request for you to make is to just pull request your favorite tech influencers. So I put a bunch of people in here, but like I didn't put all the influencers. Are you kidding? I just put some cool people. Dev leader, shout out to Nick. Tech rally, shout out Tech rally. You can vote for me. Please vote for me because I'm running for shit. That was a reference. Look it up. Okay. Will Larson, the man himself. So what am I doing? I also want to do certifications. That was the bit that I'm missing here. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So chat, give me 5 certifications, please. So I'll do the AWS Certified Solutions Architect. AWS Certified Solutions Architect. What else? Cyber security certification. I hear a lot about these, and like I don't like CompTIA. I hear a lot about CompTIA, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it's that useful. Okay, so it's called CompTIA Security Plus. Is it worth a damn? I don't know, but we can figure out how cool it is. So there's CompTIA Security Plus. What else do we got? Want 3 more. Oh, and maybe we can add, what is the, we'll skip that for now. There are like some online curriculums that a lot of people talk well of, but I can't, like CS 101, is that what it's called? Is it this one? I think it might be this one, but I'm not 100% sure. Hey, do you think I can go through your checklist as a self-taught developer? Absolutely encourage it. Yes, that is the intent. If you run into friction points, join the Discord. Let's talk about it. It's meant to be self-directed. It's meant to be free. If you run into too much friction, that's where you can start to enlist some mentorship or tutorial or like personal help. But it's mainly intended to be self-directed. Yeah. Good question. Thanks for being here. Okay, let's do some other certification. I don't know. Programming certifications. Do you mentor? Yeah, if I have time. You can book a call and we'll see if I have time. PMP, Project Management Professional. How useful is that in tech? I don't know. AWS, there's a bunch of these, right? CompTIA. Okay, maybe this one. Sure, let's go for this one. Cisco. Certified Scrum Master, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, here's the last one we'll do. And then we can do with the AWS, we can do a couple of these. So it forms a bit of a smell test, and I like this. So the associate should certainly be placed higher than the architect because it's a technically more difficult certification. Cool. All right, so now we have some certification. Seeds. So we have the Prisma model. Now I'm going to npx Prisma generate to update my types. Okay, now the node modules in the type system should be aware of the new enumeration. So now I will go over to my seed code, and whenever I go to change the logic, if I need to at all, then the IDE will give me proper type feedback, which it wouldn't have done if I like otherwise. Okay, so here is the type. Type is just casted. We're just casting it. Okay. So you can see my IDE is aware of these company, school, skill. I should probably sort them in alphabetical order, right? Let's do that. Command-Shift-P, sort lines ascending. Cool. We can. It's not going to affect the type system, except it'll now read. When I hover, it'll now read in alphabetical order, which is kind of nice. I'm clicking into node modules to force a refresh. You see it printed out in alphabetical order now. It's a nice to have, not a big deal. Votable type. And now when I hover, cool, we're sorted. We love to see it. I think the other bit I need to do is make sure it's idempotent. So I think currently the name will collide. And so do I want to have a unique constraint on the votable name? Or could there be a case where, say, a skill, there totally could be, right? So we can imagine food. Let's do this on purpose. Mocha. Mocha is a food. Chai. I mean, they're really drinks, but whatever, get over it. Okay. These are also the names of technologies, aren't they? So we're introducing a potential collision. So skill. So this will be Mocha. See, I could put in parentheses unit testing, but I'll just leave it like that. Mocha skill. You can add a tag here. Is it tag or tags? Tags, which is a string array. So here's tags. And the tag will be unit testing. I think they're both unit testing tools, if I'm not mistaken. Try unit testing. Yeah. You know what we need? We need matcha. Why has no one come up with a JavaScript library called matcha? I'm sure that would be a hit. So now we have Mocha and Chai, which should collide. What's a test framework? It is a series of tools that allows you to write and run tests. That is what a test framework is. So I'm going to stage these two, and then I'm going to continue to write, and I'm going to ensure they're all in alphabetical order. I'll put a comma on the end here. This is not proper JSON. That's okay. Sort lines ascending. Ooh, that didn't work because they are on multiple lines now. Yeah. Bummer. Okay, so now that these are like in multiple lines, I don't get to sort them ascending anymore. I used to be able to. Okay, well, I don't care. I can't put them in alphabetical order, so why try? Okay, so it'll be like this. Good. So my constraint should not be on the name alone then, should it? So I want a combination constraint between the name and the type. So within a type, the name is reserved. Prisma schema. So let's bring over a language model now to help us with this boilerplate. So here's the actual GitHub issue we're working on, by the way, number 287. So we'll go for Claude. Update this model to include, and let me get on my clipboard the votable type as well. Update this Prisma model to include a constraint on the model votable such that the name must be unique for a given type. It's okay to, it's a joint constraint, not a constraint, not a unique constraint on the name field alone. Put it in 3 ticks, idiomatic of code, helps out the language model to queue it. Good. Okay, so it's unique just like that. All right, so now I'm going to npm or like blitz prisma migrate dev. I could also npx prisma migrate dev. Are you sure you want to apply this migration? Yes. Constrain name and type jointly on votable. Cool. Your database is now in sync with your schema. Love to see it. So here, this will be a feature. More votable seeds or like more votable seeds and kinds, and constrain. Let's do this and on its own line. It's kind of idiomatic of a good GitHub message to break up the expressions. More votable seeds and kinds, and joint constraint on name and kind. Cool. Push that. Now my pull request has something here. So when I refresh the page, I can actually create it. So this will be feat Prestige Arena on mobile. Partials number 287. So partials 287 introduces new votable kinds, adds votable UI to mobile. These are pretty much the things that we're doing in the current stream. Makes votable seeding idempotent. Cool. That's the other thing we need to do before we can actually run the seed. So I'm going to copy this logic. I'm going to go back over to Claude here. Now let's make this seed votable function idempotent. It should support updating votable entities. A seed may exist with the name of an existing seed. Like, we should look it up by seed and type. We should look up a record by name and type, since there's now a joint constraint. A seed may exist with the name of an existing seed. Let me rephrase this. When an existing record is found, we should double check whether it needs to be updated, because other fields excuse me, may have changed. For example, a website may have been newly added. This update should occur in place. Okay, so this is just seed votables by itself. So we will isolate that. Looks good to me. So here, seed.ts, seed utils, new file, seed votables.ts. So we're exporting default seed votables. I would rather export const seed votables so that I import it by name. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here to the main seed and delete this code. And then we will import it. So we'll add the import, and then the votable seed data is already over here, yeah? Okay, cool. This is the wrong location for the DB import. because I've created a folder. So we just move it one level further. Cool. So let's review this. We get the raw data, we're parsing it, we're casting the type. If it's valid, otherwise we raise an error. Sounds good. Try to find an existing record. I am comfortable with a certain level of code comments because they assist the LLM grokking the code. Even if a human, it's sort of like obvious what's going on. This makes it clearer for the LLM's reference. And I'm okay with that, as long as it's not like overdone. So we're going to try to find an existing record. Cool. We're finding unique by type and name. Perfect. Or null, right? So it's nullable. If it's there, check if any field needs to be updated. I think this is going to be good. Cool. So I think we need to write all the values, not just the updated values. On this block, I see an error. Should we supply the whole data instead of a partial? If the video is interesting to you, hope you'll like it, share it, follow the page. Thanks for being here. So I'm going to stage this code. That way I can overwrite it and view the diff. So here's the diff. It reverted the index. That's fine. We can fix that. And so here, oh yeah, it reverted this. Easily fixed. No problem. The main change is this bit. Weird. Yeah, so it just kind of asserted it. I guess we'll see if that works or not. I would have thought that it would have destructured the original and done like a union object. Okay, similar for create. So for the create expression, what do we see? This. So let me see if I can just grab this else block here. So it extracted and asserted the type, and then it passed it. Yeah, so it didn't do much other than extract it. Property types of miscellaneous info are incompatible. Okay. So it should be nullable. So here's the votable create input. This particular element is the one causing trouble. Arun, welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. This particular one is causing trouble. So here's the nullable JSON null value. Should just be null, shouldn't it? What a crazy type of DB null. What a strange class. Okay, well, that's probably what's causing the issue. And then what about the input JSON value? Can be any of these. So let's see if it continues to complain if I just explicitly mark it null. Null is not assignable to this thing. What about an explicit undefined? Okay, so it's happy with an explicit undefined. And so here, it's nullable, not undefinable. JavaScript. Gotta love JavaScript, eh? So here I will do an explicit undefined. Cool. And so now if it comes out as null, we'll cast it to undefined, basically. And that makes Prisma happy, apparently. Aren't you fun, Prisma? Okay, this looks fine to me. I think we can even move this up. So where's the optional data? It's fine here. It's fine here. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so the seed votables logic seems happy. Let's close the others and let's see if it imported properly. Let's try to run it. Y'all ready? Dun, 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 dun. So here I'm just going to node db seeds.ts. Seeds, plural, my bad. Cannot use import statement. Okay, so I need to npm run I need to do the npm run way. What is it called? Seed. Look at that, npm run seed. So it's complaining basically the blitz db seed is going to load in the blitz context, which includes environment variables. I think that's sort of the bit that was missing. So does this have a .env? Yeah, so this file does not have an explicit loading of the environment file. So we rely on blitz to handle that. That's fine. Seed utils .votables.json does not exist, continuing to seed. Okay. I need to move the votables file. Okay. So now votables is a sibling of, now that I moved it in here, I needed to move the file into here. That was the issue. It was at a bad relative reference, basically. Bam. Created a bunch of new ones. Sometimes coding is awesome, dude. Sometimes coding is awesome. Okay, great. So what's the feature here? The feature is idempotent seed votables. We'll commit that. We'll push that. And now I want to go view my UI. So Command P, vote page. So here's the vote page. Now I should be able to vote on different things. I think the data model is already proper. So we'll go to localhost. What is it not running yet? Okay, right. I need to run my server. npm run dev. Hope you find the video interesting so far. It's about to get even more interesting. We're about to go see the ability to vote. And then soon, later today, you will be able to vote when I ship this to production. We can do a few kind of like collaborative votes as well. So the website supports guest voting as well as authenticated user voting, which is something that Prestige Hunt doesn't support as well. So you can see the difference between how anonymous guests vote as well as authenticated individuals. Okay, so we'll vote. Boo, what was that? Okay, so defaulting to vote for the more prestigious option, defaulting to company, but now let's go look at school. Cool. So is it George Mason University or Delhi? Come on. My school for sure. Lewagen or Stanford? I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Lewagen or Stanford? Let me know. And you can skip if you're like, I don't know what that is. So company, school, and skill. So now we can compare C# or HTML. Way better to know HTML. Shout out dev leader. React or C#? Gotta be React. Shout out dev leader. Oh, that's a good joke. Man. Okay, Postgres or Docker? Ooh, that's a toughie, bro. That is a toughie. Ooh, that is a real toughie. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to go Postgres. Ruby on Rails or verbal communication? Verbal communication. You see, we have hard and soft skills. Okay, so now I need to alter this page to allow me to select other types. Company, school, skill. Select votable type. Command C. Go to my IDE. Command Shift V. And it searches across all files. Command Shift F and then Command V. And so there are two places where we have these select votable types. And I'd like to abstract this component so that I only have one place. Rounded border P2. Rounded, yeah, it's basically the same component, eh? So let's extract the select votable type component here for reusability. Let's also include the new votable types, ideally in a dynamic way. But hard coding is fine too if there are performance or complexity concerns. Hey, hey.
Hi. Mwah.
Did you already eat?
No, I had a banana.
Okay.
And a Celsius.
Oh, what's better, a banana or a Celsius?
For what?
Which has more prestige?
Celsius.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So let's.
At least if I'm hungry, the Celsius covers the hunger.
So you have the ability to vote for a banana in my website now.
Cool.
Right? I thought so.
I got some cool stuff.
I'd love to check it out later, but I'm adding Celsius energy drink as an option.
Okay. I am super hungry though. So, on that note, what do you think about Chipotle?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's go. Chipotle time. Okay. I already forgot what the command was here. Yeah, npm run seed. So it should make only one more record. All right, thanks. Double meat, please, for your boy. Because you love me, right? Wow. Okay. Updated votable skill mocha. Updated votable skill try. That's weird. I wonder why I did that. I'll do an actual burrito. Created new votable. Nice. Nice. So this is like feet Celsius energy drink. Sponsor me, Celsius, please. Okay, so npm run dev. By now, Claude should have updated the component. Boop. All right, so here's the votable type selector. Here's the vote page content, votable type selector. It's including the same page. We're going to move that to its own component. This is why it's a copilot. We're not copying and pasting, right? Close others, Command A, V, S. I can look at my Git diff here. It dropped the use client. I don't know that that's appropriate. Cool, so we have this votable type selector, and we're gonna de-bloat this page. Don't you love to see it? We're gonna de-bloat this page by moving the votable type selector to its own component. So app, let's see, core components. We'll do this under core components. Pricing grid. I could make a feature folder here. But the idea of core components is that they go across. Here's settings components. Here's auth components. Yeah. Okay, so the feature folders are at this level, it seems like. Although I'm mixing them in. Okay, nice. Inconsistent. What a terrible developer. So they are shared. Okay, that's the difference, right? If they're within here, it means they're exclusive to this sort of like folder. But if it's shared across, that's when we want to move it out. So top honors and vote will be sharing this, what is it called? Votable type selector. So on the vote page, when you're voting, you're going to pick what you're voting on. And then also when you view who has the top honors, you're still going to pick the type. Like what kind are you voting, or are you seeing the honors for? So that's the top honors page. And so you can see there's this duplication currently on, here it is, like the select options right here. So we're going to extract that. So it's shared across routes. Therefore, it's going to get lifted to up here. So we either put it in core or we make a new domain folder. I don't know that it matters much, right? I'll make a domain folder here. So this will be votable, votables, since settings pages, it looks like it's plural. Although then there's core and app and auth, which are not plural. Setting is weird because that's an overloaded concept in programming. It's like we're setting a variable versus settings is pretty clear. So I guess either one is fine. Either one is fine. I'll call this votable because the model is called a votable, if I'm not mistaken. Prisma model votable. Yeah. So when I align the domain, I like to align it around the model name. I think that feels really good. Cool. So we have source app votable. No, it's not under app. It's just going to be source votable. Okay, that works. Source votable. And then this component is votable idk.tsx. Let's grab the name off the clipboard. Votable type selector. Cool. Nice. So it's the votable type selector. We'll export const votable type selector. Then over here, when we use it, we can add the import. Voila. Command-Shift-P. Sort imports. Command-S. Cool. Close others. Now let me go to the other page, the top honors page. Select votable type. Want to put it right here. Votable selector. Do I want the M4? I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. And it's missing the arguments, votable type, and set votable type. No problemo. Here, I will align the names, votable type, set votable type. Cool. More consistent and 2 smaller files. Don't repeat yourself. We love to see it. Sort the imports here, save it, and let's go do a regression check, make sure that things look good and work well. Okay, so here we are, refreshing the page. And I want to see more than 3 options. Right, the use client is required. So I think I need to use client on the page rather than, yeah. So in this case, I'm using client on the page rather than in the component itself. I'll try it here, but I think that's not going to be good enough because use state is in the page itself, right? You can see the errors coming from the page. Yeah. So use state, whenever we use state, that needs to happen on the client. Does that make sense? There's no concept of use state on the server. So we're telling the server this page needs to use client. Cool, here we are. All right. Guido van Rossum or Benoit. Chat, what do you think? I'm curious to know what TikTok thinks about this. Yeah, Benoit. Yeah, okay, for sure. Tech Rally or John Vanderveer. Ooh, I'm gonna have to go with my boy Tech Rally. He's so cool. Navdeep versus Ben. Oh man, this is an impossible decision. The only way you're gonna vote for Ben is if you just don't know who Navdeep is. Okay, cool. Starbucks or Lidos? Wow, what a terrible. Red delicious apple or a medium rare steak? Yo, honestly, it depends on how well the sear is. That's my take. But I'm gonna go with steak. Chicken or limeade? I'm gonna go with limeade because here's the thing: you can't undercook limeade. You know what I mean? All right, that was fun. And here I'm logged in. So when I go view top honors, you see it segregates the overall score versus the registered user score because guests can also vote. So let's look at the food. Cool. All right. And now let me go back. Does it look good? Select votable type. There is the margin MB4. The M4 is missing here. There's like space missing from the top. Is that the case here as well? Here it looks fine. It's not really noticeable. But here it's a problem. So one thing at a time, we basically have 2 tasks we need to do. So here's the votable selector on the top honors page. Here's the votable selector on the other page. And it's because the prior and post elements have margins, so it's not really noticeable on this item. We just make a div. We just make a div. Div class name is M4. Just M4. I don't need the other stuff. Thank you. And this is the proper use of a div, by the way, for spacing and moving elements. It has no semantic content, you see? So that looks a bit better. Brought it down off the top, yeah? Okay, so these are looking good. So I'll go ahead and stage this, and then in a separate commit, I will fix the issue. So this feat is votable type selector. We've extracted this item, and we lost some lines of code in the pages, which is great. So down from 92 to 79, down from 59 to 48. Love it. It went ahead and hard-coded it because of the complexity concern. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Let me make a quick comment, which is whenever there's like a manual syncing this way, we can see the performance benefit this way. I avoid querying the database, which is cool. But now I have this for human reference as well as for a GPT reference. So this will be docs comment on votable types value. Okay. Now to fix the issue. So the issue is when I go for this votable types, it was erroring, yeah? And I think it was only particular keys. So on change, we're on the vote page. Can we vote on each one? I think we could vote on all of them. I didn't actually try clicking it though. So the reads are working basically. So the reads are working. Are the reads working here? Okay. So the reads are working here. There is a problem. So company is going to work. School is going to work, I think. Okay. View leaders, school is going to work. Oh, I think it's because there are 0 response values, and that's throwing. Skill is going to work here. Okay. Postgres on top. Let's go. Tech influencer. Cannot. Yeah. So where's the error? Cannot convert undefined or null to object. But I did vote for Tech Rally, right? So there should be vote records there. Let's go debug. So this is the top honors page. Close others. So here's the top honors page. We're going to set the votable type, and setting it is, setting it triggers the problem. Okay, so we set it. And that goes to this votable leaders thing. Okay, so here, there's an interesting thing here with the underscore where we're going to want to, that impacts how we title case it. I think it's using a different structure, isn't it? So votable type here. So is it returning the value and the label? On change. No, it only sends the value. Oh, okay, so that's not the problem. I was like, if it's shipping this whole like row that has an object and then the thing's expecting the string, that could cause the issue. That's not it though. So here, where will I put my debugger? Use query, get votable leaders. I think it's erroring in here. Yeah. See this? This is the problem. This is not really an informative error. And then the error is not well handled here. So it's a two-part problem. So do I want to improve my error handling, or do I just want to like fix it and like expect there's no error? Votable leaders. This thing can have some sort of a, yeah, there's a suspense right here. Does suspense have an on error condition? I can make like an actual error handler component. Seems like a lot for an issue that shouldn't really happen as soon as I make an adjustment. Okay, I'm just gonna fix it, and like if it becomes like annoying more, we can do like a fancy error handler component. Yeah, this is React. Thanks for the follow. So here, I just need to expand the enum. Let's update this code to expand the enum and drive the enum value off of the Prisma enum type entity. Y'all, I'm starting a diet tomorrow. I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that? So here's the type votable enum type. I love the fact that Zod and Prisma work together. It's like, bro, they work so well together. Alfredo, welcome. Is Claude faster than GPT? Yes, it can be. Remember that GPT has multiple models though, right? But I think the Claude 3.5 Sonnet early in your chat history, so it's going to slow down as you add more context, but early in your chat history, I think it's faster than GPT 4.0, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you for the roses. Thank you so much. Hope everything's going well, Alfredo. Okay, so here we have the votable type, and I think it might be on the DB. It says it's not there. Let's go check it out. Enums. So do we have to represent it this way? Is that like a Prisma 5 thing? I'm not used to seeing it like that. Enums. We're just diving into node modules here. Enums. Export const role enum. Token enum, type enum. Yeah, this is what I'm used to seeing. So votable type. Oh, should I have called it votable type enum? No, here's token type, which is an enum without the conventional postfix. Yeah, export type votable type is enums.votable type. So let me do this. Let me just grab the literal. I know you can do it. Bam, there we go. So instead of saying prisma.votable type, we'll just get votable type directly. Works for me. Would you go back and update a project from years ago with hundreds of deprecated dependencies or start a new one? Great question, Bradley. The answer is it depends. Oh man, I hate it when people say that. But in this case, it's really true. You need to estimate the effort. So you want to calculate your risk-adjusted return to time and effort. You want to minimize risk, maximize return per time and effort. So I would probably try to update it and then see how much breaks. So they're old dependencies, but how many of them are breaking changes, eh? You might be able to just upgrade a bunch of your versions and a lot of it could still work. So estimate, if estimation is hard, then take a guess and check approach. Try to do it, time box yourself. And then the question becomes, what is the scope? What is the effort that would be required if you did this from scratch or greenfield? And so I would do something like probably a 10% effort allocation to a spike. And so what that would mean is if I think that rewriting the app from scratch would take a month, then I would allocate 3 days or 10% of that. I would allocate up to 3 days for my guess and check time box. 10% is pretty arbitrary, but it's a broadly supported marker for, quote, significant effort. If you do 1%, people talk about different significance levels. 10% is a relatively unassailable significance level. In other words, no one really wants you to go higher than that. Like it's considered significant. Some people say 5, some people say 1, but like everyone's going to agree to 10. It's bigger than 5 and 1, right? So it's kind of unassailable. And the thing is, if you did a 1% time box, like, be real, like, how much are you going to get done in 0.3 days? Probably not optimal. That's my thinking there. Hopefully that helped, Bradley. Trace, is Claude better than GPT-4? Never heard of Claude. So the way that you want to do this is you want to look at the leaderboards. LLM Elo leaderboard. And this is similar to what I'm building. So we're building a leaderboard. Yeah, these things are super useful. And this is going to help you understand the value proposition of a leaderboard. So let's look at the Limsys chatbot arena, which is an Elo leaderboard. Elo is just the matching algorithm. It's not a big deal. Did they change their UI? This is like an old blog article. Okay, I think this is the live one. Yeah. And so here, 0808. Ooh, there's a new one. Look at that. Claude is going to be here based on the arena score. This is an aggregate measure that blurs special use case. So different models are actually better at different things. You actually can't say, hey, like this model is better for every use case. That's very rare. That's very rare. If you're comparing like GPT-4 and GPT-2, okay, it's pretty much better at everything. But when you consider sort of like the top 10 models overall, the truth is these are the top 10 overall, but for various use cases, maybe the fourth one is actually the best at that use case, right? Thank you for the follow, Bradley. So here's the top line, plus or minus 6 on this, and then plus or minus 3 on this. So even in the generous case, there's clear separation. That GPT-4o is considered better overall. But is it better for programming in particular? And is it better when you consider the knowledge cutoff? So maybe you're okay with a slightly less performant model because it has a more recent knowledge cutoff. It's aware of, Prisma 5 and the app router and like recent breaking changes that are important to you. You might accept a slightly weaker model with a more recent knowledge cutoff. And then I'd like to see them head to head for coding in particular. So I believe that 3.5 Sonnet is going to beat this GPT-4o 513 for the coding task, but this other one is new to me, so I don't know. Anyway, you can go check it out from there and Google it. I like to use them both because if you use either one of them too much, you get rate limited. So I use them both so that I don't get rate limited. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Knowledge cutoff is pretty important to me. Yeah, for sure. How bad is the entry-level jobs in your opinion? The main reason that I see people not getting entry-level jobs is because they are not applying properly, not because the market is so bad. So when it comes to the allocation of the share of the problem space, I think it's on some individuals. Some individuals are doing just fine. You may have noticed if you graduate from university and look around your peers, some of your peers are getting jobs. Some of your peers are getting jobs. And it's not random. It's not random. There are clearly defined methods, and a lot of this is covered in the blogs. It's like, should you tailor your resume? The answer is no, right? And there's like evidence and data showing these things. So here's like a regression on the features of getting an interview. And the trick is basically to get referrals. So social networking. And I see engineers not effectively social networking, not creating content. So you should treat the job search like a job. And part of your job as a job seeker is to engage socially, network socially, and create content, build a brand so that you can generate inbound job opportunities. So how bad is it? I think it's worse than, it's worse than 2020 or whatever. There's the interviewing.io article. This is the best quantitative measure that I've seen. So we'll go site interviewing.io and we will search for harder to get a job. Let's see, is it one of these? 2023, maybe it's going to be one of these. Nope, I think this is the wrong article. They have an article where they actually calculate how much harder it is to pass an interview. Yeah, here it is, 15%. You now need to do 15% better in technical interviews. So I think that's actually the truth. I think that's like the sky is not falling. It is harder, but I think it's actually about 15% harder. I don't think it's like hundreds of times harder. Okay. Great questions, chat. Thanks for being here. Lincoln says, I'm an upcoming freshman. What do you think the job market will be in 2028? I think you're going to be good. I think you're going to be good. How do you get referrals as an introvert? Really good conversation. Hey, let me point you to the stream that I did with Brooke. So Brooke is an introvert, and she talked about this specifically. Let's see if I can search it over here. The answer is that you build a community anyway. So this one, networking tips and Q&A, all right? We specifically talk about social networking for introverts. Exposure therapy is one thing that you can do. So ramp up gradually talking to people on social media. And as you make a practice of it, it becomes easier. This is like a big deal. And join communities where you can have fewer relationships, but they are deeper. So that even though you're introverted, you grow a relationship with these people and you're then comfortable like speaking with them and engaging at least in that community. And again, you can sort of branch out from there. Once you are sort of an established member of the Latterly community, for example, then you might find an adjacent community where there's like a lot of overlap. So you still have a level of psychological safety. Maybe like a bunch of members of one server, Discord server, are in both. So maybe you go over to the interviewing.io server. A bunch of Latterly people are over there as well. And now you have like two communities that you're comfortable with because you have like this pre-existing comfort from Latterly, and then you grow into the related community. And so it sort of takes time and it's sort of slower if you're introverted. But you can basically do the same things. You can basically do the same things. It just might take you longer to an extrovert who may just immediately DM somebody. I'm horrible at making small talk. Yeah, again, two approaches to this. One is that you can practice it. So small talk is a skill that you can build. And the other thing is that you can just skip the small talk. You can have a conversation with someone, particularly a fellow engineer, where you cut to the chase and you skip the small talk and you engage directly, transparently. And frankly, that's a very good communication strategy with engineers. Don't be rude, right? The mistake is when you're being direct, be nice. That's like the big mistake, is when you're direct and mean. Like, that's bad. But if you're direct and clear and respectful of people's time, and yeah, just mind your wording and mind your tone, and everything else, you're good to go. Wording and tone are skills that can be developed. EQ is not something you're born with. EQ is not IQ. EQ is actually a collection of skills that can be trained. So join the Latterly community under the drop down, join the Discord. Love to chat about this more. Or you can just like Google kind of like social and emotional learning, EQ training, things like this, communication skill, building communication skill, Crucial Conversation book series. Very solid, highly recommended. What's the Discord about? It's about learning to code. It's latterly.io, okay? So latterly.io helps you learn to code and land your first or next programming role. So that's what the community is about. Thanks for the follow. Good chat. Let's see, what else are we doing? I think I fixed something maybe. Is the thing still broken? All right, so we altered the enum validation to be more permissive and dynamic. Right, so we're pre-applying the Zod. We're pre-applying the Zod parsing and validation. So we get through there. And now it should work. So we are on the top honors. Yeah, let's just go through each of them. Certification, cool. Company. Maybe I want a 2-level sort, because it's weird that Airbnb is before Hudson River. I think it's just doing the second level as alphabetical. So all these ones, really there should be a 3-level sort, I guess, because these two people are both 1 and 1. And in that case, alphabetical seems fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and knock that out now. Why wait? So top honors. So order by prestige score descending. And so it's going 2 and 2. But I want it to have a 2nd level order by. Let's introduce a 3-level order by with the following rules. Order by prestige score. When the prestige score is tied, order by the registered user votes. When the former 2 items are both tied, order by name. Alphabetical. Lincoln says, am I behind if I do not know how to code and college starts in 2 weeks? The answer is no. The answer is no. You will be behind if you graduate from college and you do not know how to code. That's when you'll be behind. But if you start college in 2 weeks, as a freshman, you have like multiple years to learn how to code. Don't worry about it. Still, why not start? Why not start? I mean, if coding is fun, and it should be fun, your university probably will not make it fun. I hope you don't let that burn you out, because it actually is fun. It's just that university is not a very good way to teach it. But yeah, if it's fun, why not start now, right? So basically, people only aren't getting jobs because they lack social skill. No, only is the wrong word. So here's a problem with the thinking style that I see with many engineers, is that they can't think in statistical terms or probabilistic terms or multiple causation. So I need you to add a little bit of nuance. When it comes to getting a job, there are multiple factors that interact in probabilistic ways. So it's not like addition. Getting a job is not like addition. With addition, 2 + 2 is 4. With getting a job, a referral does not equal a job. Getting a referral and doing well in the interview does not equal a job. You can literally check every box, and there is still some probability that someone else did it better and you're not getting the job, or that the company ran into financial hard times, they pull the role, whatever. So you're always dealing with probabilities when it comes to obtaining an interview, and then you should view the job search as a marketing funnel. So there's a probability that you're able to get the first interview, probability of the second interview, probability of the final, and then an offer. So this is like a marketing funnel, and you have like probabilistic hops between each locus, and then you have a probable calculation which you can run throughout the whole life cycle of attaining the job. And so social skills are a massive statistical input. They are not just an on-off switch. They are a massive statistical input. You cannot even say that someone does or doesn't have social skill. This is not even a proper evaluation of social skill. It is something which should be measured on a continuum. It is not a binary Boolean flag. Does that all make sense? So the answer to your question is like kind of yes, except it's missing a ton of nuance. And the nuance is a better way to say it. So you said people only aren't getting jobs because they lack social skill. That's like a very crude way of saying it. A much more nuanced way of saying it is that improving your social skill is a fantastic way to improve your ability to land a job. It's a much better way to say it. I see a lot of people that apply to 500 plus jobs and land 0 interviews. No, that's not true. Show me. I have not met one person who applied to 500 plus jobs and landed 0 interviews. I haven't met one. I think people exaggerate how many jobs they applied to, and they underplay how many interviews they're getting. But like when I see it on all of Reddit. Yeah, get off Reddit, dude. Reddit is so bad. Reddit is so bad. People lie on Reddit, bro. I don't know how to put this to you like more clearly. People lie on Reddit. There's an anonymity factor with self-report where if you're anonymous like you are on Reddit, you have a weak incentive to tell the truth, right? So I open sourced my job data. Like, don't trust Reddit. Trust open source with known people with reputations. So here's the scripts, analytical. Here's my job search data. These are the places that I applied, when I applied to them, the result. Like there's real actual research that you can do and not just read Reddit. You're boosting my confidence. Thanks, bro. I was considering switching to accounting. Yo, I'm glad I'm boosting your confidence. And it's weird to me how many people have said that they're considering accounting over programming. Like, why? It's so weird. What's attractive about accounting? Like, sorry, I don't mean to be a hater, but it's just like, it sounds really boring to me. I guess programming sounds really boring to people too, right? But it's not. It's not. It's just a stereotype. It's actually a ton of fun. Anyway, good questions, Lincoln. Thank you for being here. Hope you'll follow the page, hang out with the community. Accounting has more job security. Yeah, but like not much more. I mean, the unemployment rate among software engineers is low. The unemployment rate among accountants is slightly lower, but we're looking at like, what, like a 3, 4, 5% difference? Like it's very small difference. And I think then they're paid less, right? So anyway, but that's fair enough. Maybe 3, 4, 5. For some people, they're so risk averse that the 3% difference is worth the foregone earnings. Like I get that, but I also just think that it's an unenjoyable career. Let's Google that real quick. Don't touch me. Accounting job satisfaction. You know what? The problem is going to be that there's a bunch of programmers that are not happy with their job. Second most satisfied industry was accounting and tax. And construction workers. Yeah, okay, maybe it's awesome. I don't know. It's hard for me to understand how it's like, this is the most enjoyable career, being an accountant. Maybe it is. What about programmers? So programmers are going to be lower, I guess, except all cookies. Tech, so accounting, average account. So tech is after, it's like number 4. Okay, yeah, I mean, is this a statistically significant difference? Okay, it's higher, 72 versus 70 after rounding. 72 versus 70, is that like is there a confidence interval on this thing? I don't know. I'm suspicious that it's equivalent, but fine. So what would that be? That's like, yeah, again, this is like less than 5% different if it's different at all. Yeah. Okay, it's for some people, I guess. I would like to finish implementing this and wrap up the stream. Okay, so we got all these. Oh, it was the multi-level sort. Yeah, I think I implemented it. So is it fixed now? So let's go to certificate. I don't think there's any votes over here. Let's go to food. 1-1. So L is coming first. So it's alphabetical within the tie here. That's good. Company. No, this is bad. Oh no, it's good. So Hudson River Trading comes first because registered voters is now prioritized. And so then among these two, I, J, K, L, N, O, P, it is alphabetical among these tie. Yeah, it's working. And then 23andMe has a point, but none of it is from registered. Great, this is working perfectly. Love to see it. Top honors page. So here, I want to add a brief paragraph. These are the top leaders based on their prestige score and registered user votes. And if I go to job title, it's job title honors, right? So this, I want to split it on an underscore. So we'll split it on an underscore. Let's see if that fixed it. Top job title honors. It looks better, right? Top job title honors. These are the top, and then it needs some space on this paragraph. So your class name, we'll use a little bit of Tailwind. We'll say MY4. Cool. Y for vertical. Get some vertical space going on. Let's see. I would like it to stand out a little more. So maybe we'll do text XL2 on the heading. Nope, that's smaller. Is it XXL? How do I make it bigger? I forgot. Text. Is it 2XL? Is that how I should do it? Yeah. Okay, so 2XL is bigger now. And then we can do a font bold on the leader name. So I'll throw this into a span. And I'll bold the leader name specifically. Cool, so now it pops a little bit, but not so much as to detract from the title, right? Top company honors, I think we want that to be centered. So we'll see margin auto. That didn't center it. So what will be text center? Cool. Now it's in the center. And then this paragraph, do I have a width constraint on this thing? I want a width constraint on this. Oh, we need some mobile padding out here. So let me give a main wrapper out here. Main. Oh, votable leaders. So we should do a main out here. M2, M4. That's the votable leaders component still. I want to change this to be a main. So here's the main. Put M2 over there. Okay, that looks better, right? Maybe M4 would look even better. Yeah, I think that looks better. Select votable type, that could be centered as well. I'm not sure that margin auto is the right thing to say. Is it M auto? Okay, that looks more like it. And then I want to constrain the width on this paragraph here. Which framework are you using? Next.js. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so here's the paragraph, and I want to have max width. Can I do this? Max 400. That did not seem to work. That did not seem to work. Let's try to get Copilot to help me out. Cool, yeah, it's saying max 400, just like that. Let's see. What is the Tailwind style to constrain width to 400 pixels? Never heard of Next.js. It's big. I don't know. Is there a bigger web development framework right now? React or React Native? It is not native. It's just React. Yeah, check it out. If you haven't heard of it, check it out. Are you using VS Code? Yes, indeed. Hope you'll follow the page. Thanks so much for being here. Throw some likes on the video for the algorithm. Cool. That's what I'm talking about. That was what I was looking for. All right, so these are the top 10 company leaders based on their prestige score. And registered user votes. Ties are sorted by name. Maybe I can do a text small. Cool. Yeah, I think that looks good. Cool. Last thing will be to add a mobile link, and then I think we're home free. So what is this feature? This feature is more generic votable type enum. Do you think it's harder to land an internship or land an entry-level job? I genuinely don't know. I've never held an internship. I've helped people get entry-level jobs. I don't, maybe I've helped people get internships as well. I genuinely don't know. I'd love to see research on that. I could actually see it being harder to get an internship, which is just super weird to me. Like, I don't really understand why you would want an internship at all when you can just get a job. Okay, so mobile. Let's keep shrinking this until it turns to the hamburger menu. Boop. All right, so here is the mobile menu. So let's go to that page. Mobile menu.tsx, and we'll move this from the pages router over to the app router since we're over here. So this will be folder, mobile, menu. And then we'll drag that guy in there and we'll change the name to page.tsx. In the app router, you don't need the Blitz page type anymore. So I will say, let's convert this pages router style page component to an app router style page component and add a, it's going to be called an accordion. Is that right? Guest menu items. So there's like a flex container group, community submenu. Add a toggle top honors submenu feature, which allows users to access hrefs/vote and /top honors. Cool. I think that was clear enough that it will give us something that we can fix up. I'm going to a small college for CS. Does that even matter? Yeah, I mean, in some sense, a degree is a degree. So there is an independent value. There is a value to the degree independent of the institution. So here, higher ability and educational. No, I think this is going to be the wrong paper. I think this is going to be the wrong paper. What other papers do I have? New digital education, impact of employers, attitudinal trends. Can't tell you. Can't tell you. It's going to be one of these. Let's see, is it this one? Where I actually have a regression of prestige. No, you know what? I think it's higher ability and educational prestige. Oh man, it wants to do all this. Dude, you won't let me read my own paper? Ugh, I'm so glad I'm out of academia. We can look at the LaTeX file. Student debt history. I think this is the wrong one. Alt Ed Prestige. Here we go. Okay. See if I can sort of blow this up a little bit. The regression of prestige. Yeah. Accredited, unaccredited. There's a point difference there. Accredited, unaccredited. I think this is what I had in mind. About one point on a scale of 1 to 10 that's independent of the institution, any accredited university. And you sort of get this point. Yeah, so let's say that you have a low prestige university. That's the thing. Just because it's small, is it low prestige? Those are a little bit different, eh? So it is better to go to a prestigious unaccredited school than a low prestige accredited school. Does that make sense? But if you're ignorant to whether it's considered low or high prestige and you only know the size, then the advantage would go to the accredited school. Can I tell you my school? Yeah, feel free. Feel free. So here you see replicated with high significance. The fact that it's accredited alone awards you like a 1.25, depending on the model. Indiana University, Kokomo. All right, let's check it out. Indiana University, Kokomo. Rating. I want to see it's higher than a 3 out of 5. This is rated highly. Yeah, 3.8 with over 400 reviews. It looks fine. Excellent small campus. Yeah, it looks fine, dude. Don't sweat it. It looks like a fine school. I mean, it'll be all right. Quit stressing out. Drink some water. Sleep. Swansea University. In Wales, pass. Ranked top 300 in the world. I guess that's going to be fine. Oh, bro, I'm not just Googling everyone's university. It's a small school with a high acceptance rate. I was considering switching to Indiana University. Yeah, I mean, fine. Looks slightly better, eh? Like Bloomington or what? Bro, University of Michigan. I'm just not Googling everyone's university. I'm so happy that y'all went to university. You're perfectly capable of Google. Unless you have heard that your school is terrible, don't worry. That's basically the rule. Unless you have heard that your school is terrible, don't worry. Even if you have heard that your school is terrible, don't drop out, finish the degree, and maybe go to a boot camp after. That's basically the approach that you should take. Okay, so we're on this page. Did I already paste the new file? So I'm going over here, close, close, close. Going over here, grabbing this file. Changing the prisma.votable type assertions to just votable type. Okay. So this is going to be votable type selector. We already have this thing, eh? Did it get super confused? Yeah, okay. Large language model fail. We don't need that at all. Top honors content. What is this? Dude, what is this stuff? This is the mobile menu. Let's convert the page component to, oh no, that's on me. I didn't paste it. Yo, I was like, this thing is tripping. Sorry, I did not paste the page that I meant to update. It is a mobile menu page. It should not include votable type selector or anything like that. Russ Safe, thank you for the follow. Movie Man, I was here a couple months ago. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks so much for the likes. Over 500 likes. Appreciate it. Command AVS. Now let's look at this mobile menu. Refresh. Is it still using next router? Yeah. Yeah. So I'll update the top through the const values. It says authenticated menu and guest menu items remain the same. So let's go back and grab those. Here's authenticated menu items. And guest menu items. Okay, copying that. And then beyond the guest menu items, all of this good stuff. Sort the imports. Okay. You're importing a component that needs to use router. So which component is this? Import use router from next navigation. Yeah, it needs to be client. I'm surprised Claude is not catching this. This is pretty basic. So used router is going to do what? Handle close will go back. Yeah, we do need that. So here we will use client. Cool, so we have account, all this stuff loading. And now there is top honors. And so I can go to the vote page. Yeah, I can go to the menu. I can go to the top honors page. Looks good. And it seems to work just as well as any of these others. Great, and preserving the alphabetical order. That was basically all I wanted to do. Top honors, vote, top honors. Let's say view top honors on the child element. Cool. All right, y'all, and we'll ship it to production and get ready to vote. So here, let me npm run build, make sure that the build compiles fine, and then we'll ship it off to production. Mobile top honors link. Just waiting on the build over here. Thanks again. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you'll follow the page. Check out latterly.io. Link is in the bio. Lots of new features rolling out, including this Prestige Arena. Cool. Looks like everything is building fine. All right, so within the next hour, that should be available in production at latterly.io.